Welcome back to yet another episode of Spin Magazine's Lip Service. I'm sitting with the one and only Julian Lennon, my buddy.
Hi, Scott.
Great to see you.
How are you?
I'm really good.
Alive, which is
alive.
good at this point in time.
Yeah, it's funny. We actually have hung out for like many years in the same circle in New York. We
Yeah.
never really broke bread together.
That's true. Yeah,
So this is exciting because it's like our first time having like a real meaningful conversation.
Yeah. This is very true. I mean, we over the years we've kind of waved and said hello as we've got a lot of mutual friends. But yeah, we never actually got round to hanging out there or here.
Yeah.
But that's changing.
Do you like LA in general? Because I know you live in Monaco, right?
Yeah, I used to live here. That's I was here for like 8-10 years. 25 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, something like that. And so I loved it back here then. And I was part of the kind of expat brat pack, rock and roll biker crew, all on our Harleys with the likes of, the Cult guys, Billy Duffy, and
my buddies,
Billy Idol, all of those guys. So
that would be known as the Sunset Marquee crowd.
The whiskey,
right?
The whiskey bar
right?
crowd. Yeah, and as soon as the helmet law came in, everybody sold their bikes. And I decided I got a little numb here back then, and so I thought it was time for a change. So I went back to Europe, and still there now. And I didn't come here for about 10 years. I don't know why. New York became quite a big thing for a while for me. So I had a lot of friends there. But then, of course, the industry almost died there pretty much, and everything moved out here again. And so I was away from here for about 10 years. And then a lot of the friends that I had way back when, who'd moved away also, had moved back here as professional adults,
Right.
And so, I found myself hanging out with a lot of great friends again. So, funnily enough, I have probably more friends here than I do anywhere else in the world. I mean, there's a scattering because of the kind of the work that we do. We've got friends everywhere, but probably, and this is still one of my favorite places to be anyway. But I've got a lot, I've got a lot of people, a lot of friends out here, and for me, this is the capital of the entertainment business for the working world. Whether it's films you're making, documentaries, or whether it's music, or whether it's even photography, which is the other stuff that I do, and even you can speak to a lot of people about charity stuff here. So it's a great vortex,
definitely,
so to speak. Where you can meet and greet and get some jobs done.
So show us a little bit, Julian, about your life and your history, and obviously all your new projects and your great projects and everything you've done, which is so much and so vast, which is why I have 85 pages of notes in front of me. But take me back if you don't mind. It's all right. Listen, I love doing it, and there's so much I discovered about you that I didn't know, which we'll get into.
But I mean, the one thing I really do remember, and I don't know why it sticks in my mind so much and sticks with me so much. I guess it's because it's probably the first piece of music that I ever recall, which was going into the entrance of the doorway to the Rock and Roll Circus, the Stones Rock and Roll Circus. And there was a doorway in a hallway, and actually this light, this kind of bluey purple, was the light that I saw, and all I heard was "What a Shade of Pale." And I don't know why that stuck with me. And I remember certain moments with this guy that was dressed up as a clown, who terrified me.
I was going to say, still scary to this day, anyone dressing as a clown.
This one in particular. But it was, for a three-year-old to walk into this kind of landscape of rock and rollers and madness, and, everybody dressed up in some form or fashion, mostly hippie-orientated, really, rock and roll and hippie. But, that certainly stuck with me, too.
Do you remember meeting the Stones at that point? Did you have any interactions with the band, or you were too young to really remember?
Clapton, I remember. Brian, I remember. But that was about it. It was all a little too much to take in.
Sure, but it still wasn't at 3 or 4. You're not deciding what you want to do the rest of your
Oh
life at
God,
that
no,
point.
no, no, no.
So,
No,
so
that sort of came about when I was again living in the Wirral, and I was probably about 13. But Dad had sent me a guitar when I was 11 years old, an electric guitar, which was part of the NFT collection. But
yeah. And
um,
was there a drum machine there too? I heard because what kind of that must have been a very early drum machine if it was like a maybe a Linn drum or
no, no, I remember the one drum machine that I got from Dad was the old Rhythm 77,
okay.
that had the bossa nova
Oh
and
yeah, sure,
all
sure.
of those.
Like a Casio type of thing. Yeah,
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 it was
yeah,
quite famous and quite particular in
yeah.
those days. I wish I could remember what it was exactly, but yeah, that's the only other thing I had at that point in time, except for probably one of the first Sony Walkmans, the silver metal one,
Sure.
and that I loved to
Yeah, I
bits.
love that too.
And so we had a teacher at school called Mr. Wynn, who was a rock and roller with a DA haircut. And in between lessons, or if you didn't have a lesson that particular moment, he would teach rock and roll songs on acoustic guitar in a back room behind the swimming pool of the school. My best friend at that time, Justin Clayton, whom I met there, um, was playing, and I thought, oh, this is great, and so I kind of joined in. We formed a band at some point. It may have been his band or somebody else's, I don't know, but we played at the end of the year. They used to do
Talent shows or
talent
whatever.
shows,
Yeah.
theatre, and we thought, why not give it a try? And and I was very interested in theatre at that point. I really had my teeth stuck into theatre, and art was my big thing.
Because
And
you
then
would have thought with your lineage you would definitely would have gone into music, but it wasn't. You
it,
almost went into theater actually.
I very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, I was offered a scholarship with the Shakespeare Theatre Company when I was young, and I was quite shocked by that. But after getting up on stage and playing 3 or 4 rock and roll chords and having a bunch of screaming girls out there, it was like, nah, this is what I'm going to do. That's why would anybody want to do something else?